So hi Zorain.
Hi, TheatreAdda.com.
Okay, so it's our pleasure to have you here with us.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. Okay Zorain, so we read that Zorian Cross Productions challenged the audience to take the road which is less travelled. But what are the challenges you face while making such a road?
Getting actors to follow me. Well, that's one thing because I write original scripts and prefer doing stuff which is my own creation rather than bastardizing an adaptation of an old English writer or something like that. The first biggest challenge is, like I said, looking for actors willing to take it on. Now I'm basically taking on things that probably the BJP would want to ban us on. As the title's called Forbidden Fruit, it's come from the old story of Adam and Eve, where Eve was tempted by the serpent with the fruit. The play has nothing to do with that, but it's mostly to do with topics which women generally aren't allowed to discuss in public, but they discuss amongst themselves from, let's say, from their very first time they lost their virginity, to their relationships with men in their life, to secrets they've been hiding. We even have talks about periods, we have talks about masturbation, we have talks about virtually everything under the sun.
Zorain, so where's the line between vulgarity and between realistic scenario?
I believe vulgarity is when you're doing something for cheap thrills, which is, I'm sure I'm so going to get into trouble for saying this, but it's like when you basically say, let's take a theatrical example. I find vulgarity is when you just punctuate a sentence with a swear word, like a MC, BC, etc., just to get a cheap laugh from an audience, when it's not leading to the story. It's not like I'm saying I'm against swear words. I mean, my play is full of them. I think there's one scene where a girl says fuck over 20 times, but I believe, like when I did a workshop with Alex Broon, who's Zara, the first short and sweet in Delhi, he told me something very interesting. He's like, if a word has no purpose in the overall story, never write it. So even if you're using a swear word, whatever word you're using, even if it's an the, and, whatever, prepositions and all, if it's not leading your story anywhere, why are you using it?
So Zorain, you must have faced criticism about your plays and about your work. So what kind of criticism you have faced till now?
Well, before I even joined theatre, people told me my Hindi was terrible. My first professional play was a Hindi play, and I got a standing ovation. When I won my first award at the Short and Sweet Festival, I was told, oh, Zorian can just write about gay issues and just act gay. I played a straight professor in a mental asylum, where my next play was about romantic couples. Most of them were straight. Then after that, I was faced with the criticism that Zorian can just do comedies. I did a ballet. So I'm not saying criticism doesn't get me, because let's face it, I'm not a martyred saint who can just accept everyone's pain and everyone's thoughtlessness. It does, but I will say this, that there's a difference between criticism and there's a difference between underestimating me. And the minute people underestimate me, that's when I'm like, okay fuckers, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Just the best production or your best play till now? Yeah, which you have written or you have acted in.
Ask me that. All plays are like my babies. It's like asking a mother to choose which one is her favorite. Each of my plays is so uniquely different. I mean, how can I compare a dinner party comedy to a ballet? How can I compare a feminist manifesto to a jukebox musical set in the 80s? I can't, right? It's like literally comparing apples and watermelons. I won't even say oranges, because oranges are literally the same size as apples usually, but apples and watermelons, how can you compare?
What message you want to give to the audience who are listening to you, who are waiting for your play to come up and who will watch your play?
The first thing I would say is come with an open mind and an open heart. B, leave all your preconceived notions and judgments at home when you come see my play. Not just my play, see any play, because the minute you come with a fixed idea of what it's going to be like, and it's not what you think, that's the worst thing you can do to any art form. It's kind of like you're buying tickets to see a movie and you kind of IMDb it and it's got really bad ratings and you're like, oh, it's going to be terrible, we'll still watch it and waste our time. But you know, don't do things like that. Just don't make the horrible thing to make it look like I'm saying my play is horrible, because another thing is, don't judge this work by my previous works as well, because like I said, this is completely different than anything I've ever done before, and probably anything anyone else has ever done before. So come with an open mind. And next, don't bring children to this auditorium, because unless you're super cool parents, and I totally applaud you, but still don't bring children. And don't ban us.
Thank you so much, Zorain, for spending your time with us. It was a pleasure having you here.
The pleasure was all mine.
Thank you.